Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. Now a while ago on my channel I reviewed a mod called Icescape. It was part of a free new mods review and it was pretty good. It had a few problems but I quite liked it, and the owner of the mod decided to send me a copy of one of his new mods. Now unfortunately he sent this copy almost a month ago and I just didn't notice. Okay, don't blame me, I'm not very good at this stuff. However, I looked it up and he's already released the mod with new versions, so I downloaded that and I decided to have a go at it, and I found that it's even better than his first one. It's actually quite cool and I thought we could have a look at it today. Now this mod is called SandScape. I'll have it linked down in the description below. But let's get started. Now, just looking at the structure made out of sandstone behind me, you'll probably have figured out that this is a dimension mod, aka it adds a new dimension. And the dimension, as you can probably tell from the name and what it's made out of, is a sand dimension. This mod adds this new dimension as well as a whole lot of relevant blocks, mobs, and other stuff. Now, first of all, we're going to have a look at the mobs. Now, they've added 9 mobs. Some of them are just retextures of vanilla mobs, but a few of them are actually ones that they've made themselves, I assume at least. But they have, what's it called? They have models that aren't in the vanilla. Like, for example, while Vulture is just a chicken which can fly, Turtle is a completely different, well, Tortoise is a completely new model, which is pretty cool. I'm always up for people using unique models, or at least models that aren't in vanilla, for their mobs and their mods. Now the rest of the mods are a Scarab Beetle, which has its own unique model. It's very tiny, but they have the Desert Bandit, a Tumbleweed, which again has its own unique model. However, I do feel like they could do some improvements on the Tumbleweed. It's spinning a little tad too fast and it's very obviously spinning on one of the corners. But I'm always up for inventiveness, and this is a very inventive mob. Now they also have Desert Spiders, which is retextured spider. They have Desert Creeper, which is of course retextured creeper. They have the Lizard, which has its own unique mob model. Hold on, let me get this up. Yeah. And they, of course, the final one is a mummy, which I assume is basically just the bear version of a zombie. Now, they've also added some more unique blocks. For example, they've added a couple of different types of sandstone. They've added a thing called golden sand, a bandana, a rock, small cactus, which I've seen in a few other mods, coconuts, and a variety of foods, and I don't know, drops, I guess. So it's always good when they add some new stuff in that, but they've also added a new tree called the palm tree, with a few of the relevant blocks such as the slab, the fence, the stairs, the planks, and all that, as well as surprisingly some palm tree tools and weapon, which you don't normally see when it comes to new types of war. Now they've also added 2 really cool things, a pistol with a bullet and Raider TNT. Now the Raider TNT is basically just a more powerful version of TNT, which you can only set off using a redstone torch. That makes a really big explosion, and apparently it says it's more powerful when used on sandstone. I haven't really noticed a difference. It looks very powerful already, but yeah. Now on the other hand, the pistol is basically just a long range weapon that shoots bullets. Now it does curve at the end, but nowhere near as much as an arrow would, and it does a lot of damage. So it's a really cool long distance weapon. Now finally, moving on to the actual dimension and portal. Now you make the portal out of sandstone blocks, but to ignite it you have to use sand in this formation in your crafting table to create a sand artifact, which you then will use to make the portal open. Now, the portals are a bit glitchy. For example, sometimes you get spawned into the ground, and if you go back and forward, they tend to make more and more portals every time you go in between, back and forth. And like I said, you get spawned in the ground. So that is something that needs to be fixed, but it's not too detrimental to the actual gameplay right now. Now, the sand biome, I assume it's called, has two major parts. Three major parts it seems. There's dead trees around, as well as you should be able to find some oases here and there, although this part seems very, dead. Here's an oasis over here, I think, yeah, an oasis, which will normally have, some palm trees, some bushes, and some water and grass. Now, you'll also be able to find some bandit towers as well as some spawn rooms. Now, this is a abandoned outpost or something, I think they're called, but they just have some basic loot and structure, which is fun, and I do think that they should add a bit more variety, some different looking ones. They do have, I think, a few different looking ones, I don't know, but I think that adding some complexity to these abandoned outposts would be a good idea. And you can also sometimes find, I think this might be one over here, nope. Well, I'm just going to tell you, sometimes you can find a spawner room that's like the underground dungeon rooms that you see in the overworld with a spawner in it and chests. It's basically the desert version of that. But that's about it for this mod. I don't want to go too far into looking at things and all that, but I hope you have a good idea of what this mod is about, and if you want to check it out, then it's listed in the description. And thank you for watching, and bye!